Well, everybody. Welcome to the lounge. Let me take this down. Let me take that down. Let me put this up. What's going on? There is no Stefanos Karatopis tonight because Stefanos got someone's been poking him in the eye or something, so he's got a little bit of eye irritation going on. Don't know exactly what happened. All I know is that he went to the hospital about 3 hours ago. Nothing serious. But you know our fine medical system here in this country. And he's gonna be there all night and probably nothing will get done. So I'm all alone tonight. Hopefully, someone will have a drink with me. Drink responsibly. Cheers. Hey, Jesse, what's going on? All right, we got a lot of stuff we're going to talk about tonight, and this was right up Stefanos's alley. Um, what can I say? First and foremost, very important. As you know, Gary, I don't know, Gary, and a hangry. He has been the minister that's been trying to push this gun grab through lately. And I know the lawyer personally that is one of the key lawyers that's taken this the appeal for the gun grab. It's gone constitutional, obviously, and it is going to be heard. Write these dates down, guys. November 9th and 10th. What is on November 9th and 10th, by the way? Deer hunting season. So hey, Hesham, you're gonna have a drink with me in because Stefanos can't be having a brewski or something tonight. Cheers. There you go. Yeah, I love steam whistle. It's a pilsner. It's a good pilsner, actually. Anyways, we got to get organized. We need people to show up in the millions in front of the Supreme Court November 9th and November 10th. And yeah, I know it's right in the middle of it's the second week of the deer hunting season. So I think they did it that way on purpose because who's going to lose the most rights? It's going to be the legal gun owners, the guys that go hunting with their long guns. Hey, Brenda, what's going on? Yeah, unfortunately, we go party hunting when we go deer hunting, and usually not a lot of meat. Mind you, Bubba usually gets about the spine from about 4 or 5 deer. They get split probably a dozen ways. And too bad the deer are so small, but it is what it is. So November 9th and 10th, Ottawa, in front of the Supreme Court building. Spread this out, guys. This is the one. And it's going to be the appeal. And if they don't win this, well, we're going to lose our gun rights and we're going to lose them quickly. And you can bet the cops will be knocking on the door pretty damn quick if you didn't lose all your guns in a canoe accident. Like I did. I only have one gun left right now. Well, you dislike gun laws. My parents always put food on our table because of them. Some people do a hunt for subsistence, and the way things are getting right now with the price of food getting up there, moose hunting not really because you spend a lot of money on fuel, time. Sometimes it's just not worth hunting moose. But deer, yeah, a lot of people, especially the natives, they survive on deer and moose. And I'm surprised. Well, we'll see what happens. Again, guys, write this down. Spread the word. November 9th and 10th. This is the big one. And the lawyers were actually not expecting to hear this till next winter, like January, February of the coming year. And somehow it's gotten pushed up. It's the appeal. It's the appeal of the gun rights of the gun ban. They're trying to. It is unconstitutional. Whether or not it actually works that way in the courts, we'll find out. So we got to get organized for that 9th and 10th of November. You know what? I haven't seen these ticks or boxes of ticks dropping down or anything. I know ticks have been around for millions of years. I really don't care about ticks. I've been bitten by a tick before. Nothing happened to me. It was about 10, 15 years ago. Wow. So you guys are probably really healthy if you're raised on wild game. I know it's good for you. It's lean meat. I guess it's a little bit low on fat, but hey, it is what it is. It's good to eat. I know if I eat moose meat too late in the evening, can't sleep. Maybe there's just too much iron in it or something I'm missing. I'm just buzzing like, ooh, it's weird. But yeah, I eat moose meat before 6. Otherwise, I'm not getting to bed that night, or I'll be up all night going do 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 do. Okay, next thing. September 10th, 11th, 12th, I believe the conservatives, one of the conservatives is sponsoring a bill or trying to bring attention to the vaccine injured. This is clearly politicking, people. Never forget this. Now they want to hear about the all the people that got harmed from the jibby jabs. Now, 5 years after the fact, after we've lost. Who here that's listening does not know someone that got killed by the jibby jab? My own mom was taken by the jibby jab. How do I know this? She started having weird strokes. In our family, we don't have strokes, at least not on her side of the family. And usually, women on her side of the family lived well into their 90s. Her mother lived to be 94, and the only thing that took her down was a fractured hip and what goes along with that stuff. But she was still reading, lucid, still cooking daily. Thank you, Windows, for doing that uncalled for announcement. Yeah. So, anyways, so the conservatives are figuring, well, maybe we'll raise it a little bit of a stink about this. So it's basically, you heard about the National Citizen Inquiry. It's kind of the same thing. They're going to be doing this in Ottawa, September 11th, 12th, and some people called me and they said, "We're really excited. Maybe we're going to get some movement on this." Yeah, the conservatives want to win the next election. They're going to try to say that they're doing something. But wasn't it Pierre Poilievre that said, we want people jabbed faster? And he's giving shit to Trudeau saying we can't get these vaccines quick enough. Screw you. You couldn't even take the time to figure out what's going on, to look into this issue. Yeah, I'm not backing the conservatives whatsoever. I hate to say it because I'm basically conservative by nature. Dr. G, I know a few doctors that died suddenly after the jab, Ed. Hey, we don't have Stefanos on right now, Dr. G. I'm going to send you an invite to your email if you want to come join us in a few minutes. Bear with me, guys. Maybe we can get Dr. G in here. We haven't had Dr. G on for a while. Come on, Google. Email. It's going to your .me account. Jump in if you can. You can come in with your phone if you like. Love to get an update of what's going on in Florida. You should have that any second now, Dr. G. There. Hesham's got all the details. Damn, you're good. You make a fine secretary for someone. Dean Allison, the MP from Stefanos, the former area of Niagara, has set up what's called the Allison Inquiry. Yeah, so they're going to be making all kinds of. They're going to be politicking, and of course, it's for your own good. They're going to try to bring attention to him. Is he sincere? I don't know. Did all the conservatives vote for this damn vaccine mandates? Never forget that, guys. Emergency vaccine. And what happened to the flu? Oh, the flu went on holidays for a couple of years. So, anyways, we'll wait for hopefully Dr. G will jump in. Oh yeah, I was talking to Pat King a couple times this week, and as you all know, they're going after Pat King again. So Pat King's there. He went to court. He spent a bunch of money because Apparently, 5 months or 6 months in the Ottawa jail for doing nothing wrong is not enough time for Pat. So the powers that be, they pushed the somehow they've gone after him again, and they were looking for 5 years for what he was found guilty on. And in my mind, no, in my opinion, I don't think Pat did anything wrong. If anything, he saved a lot of lives. And he did. Was he the organizer? No. Was he the head organizer? No. Was he very popular on social media? Yep. He told people what was going on, why they were coming out to Ottawa, and he was getting. I was standing beside him one second or third day we were there. He had 50 or 60,000 people watching in less than a minute on his Facebook Live. CBC doesn't even get those kind of numbers. So, of course, they figured, well, if you're that popular and you're overshadowing our national paid for media, we got to take you down a few notches. We can't have this. Not going to follow the narrative. Anyways, tomorrow they're going to be reading the results. He doesn't have to show in person, but I think he will be with his lawyer. They'll be reading through the judgment. I spoke to Stefanos briefly about that last night. Based on the merits of the case, I can't see them giving him 5 years. And it's pretty disgusting what the Crown has decided to come after him again. Again, political pressure. The courts and the government, they're supposed to be kept separately, but in Canada, it's becoming a real problem, as it does in most countries that have dictatorships. Oh, Canada's a democracy. We don't have a dictatorship. Really? With some asshole that likes to wear blackface on multiple occasions. If you're not vaccinated, you're not getting on a plane, a train, an automobile, you're not crossing borders, you're not going anywhere. Go get your damn vax. Who's that? Mr. Gay Socks? And people have short memories. Pierre Elliott Trudeau was the leader of the Communist Party of Canada back in the 60s. He got pushed into the Liberal Party because it lines up perfectly with the direction that Maurice Strong, who, by the way, passed away, and he retired and he's buried in China. Commie. So if you guys don't think the Liberal Party, vote for the Liberal Party is a vote for communism, well, I tried to tell you. I don't know how to make it more obvious. What else do we want to talk about tonight? Let's see what's in the chat here. You took one? Oh, geez. All because my father said I needed to live with him. My father was the biggest conspiracy theorist in the world. Shows you how much they can convert people. Don't ever get another jab ever. The last jab I got was for tetanus, and then I find out tetanus only exists because of a certain bacteria that sometimes is associated with metal in Africa, and people walk around there barefoot. That's why they get tetanus. And we got Dr. G coming in all the way from Puerto Vallarta or Nuevo Vallarta, I'm assuming, in Mexico. And you guys remember Dr. G. We had him on the show many times. Okay, so I covered the we need to get organized for the gun grab appeal. It's November, sorry, what's the date on that one again? Just so we don't forget. I had it here. Okay, and I got this right from the lawyer, one of the key lawyers that's representing this. November 9th and 10th. Get your hunting done around those two dates. Supreme Court of Canada, Ottawa, November 9th and 10th. We got to show up in huge numbers. And you're saying, well, why should I care about guns? Mao took the guns. Hitler took the guns. Any other dictators take the guns? Stalin took the guns. So, yeah, hang on to your guns, guys. Let's get Dr. G in here in a minute. He just went black. I don't know. Maybe he's going to get a... Who knows what's happening down there in Mexico? Oh, he's back again. Gonna hold your camera steady. Again, Pat King tomorrow. Catch his lives tomorrow, 10:15, 10:30 a.m. Be on Facebook, TikTok, etc. And don't buy into the Dean Allison inquiry. Nothing's going to come of it. It's politicking. Let's bring in Dr. G. How's it going?
Well, I'm living the dream here, Ed, in Butzerías, Mexico. I just went on Facebook and I saw you on there, and I thought I'd say hello, and here we are, spontaneous appearance on the famous Ed show. It's got
Well,
this.
Stefanos is seeing doctors, and now we get a doctor at the last second on a. We can get a doctor quicker in Mexico on the show than Stefanos
There you
can
go.
get in
Look at I'm
taxi.
getting served. Hello, we're here and talking to my friend in Canada. Hola.
Say hi to Canadians.
Yeah, we're trying to get more and more Canadians down here in Mexico with a new program. We have an online course called Escape Hatch, and so many Canadians now are saying that's Canada has lost its pulse, and like a dying patient, it can't be resuscitated at least in our generation. So more and more people are starting to take that exodus, as you know, Ed.
I don't know. I think it can be done in our generation. It's just more. It's got to get worse before it's going to get better because too many people are just buying into all the propaganda. And I talked to family members. This is that thing. That Black Mirror is lying to you all the freaking time. Why do you even pay attention to that thing? I've turned my TV on once in the last 27 years. I've turned my TV on once.
That's wise.
And because I know it's lies and everything, especially now with COVID, we
Yeah.
had you on. Remember back in it was 2021 when they started releasing the Pfizer documents?
Oh yeah, I do remember. We actually had one program where we interpreted the documents, the ones that they were trying to hide, incidentally, that only came forward because of freedom of information requests.
Yeah, the judge forced them. Was it 10,000 pages a month or 30,000 pages a month? And
Yeah,
there's hundreds of thousands of them.
exactly.
And alarm bells went off while you're reading through those things, was it not?
Oh yeah, alarm bells went off in the first 2 weeks when I started looking at the science and the kind of fraudulent tests that they were using. The first hint was a PCR test, and then the other hints were talking to doctors who were actually on the front line that said the media story does not at all line up with reality. They're saying that hospitals are overwhelmed and ambulances are coming in huge numbers, and it was all drama and theater, and it was all manipulation and deception. Probably, I think Ed, it's going to go down as the worst atrocity in medical history in a long, long time. I mean, how it was coordinated worldwide, the kind of deception that went into this, um, it's just baffling how the perpetrators seemingly have gotten away with it so far. But who knows? It's still not over yet. Story.
Yeah. Were we? Kev was probably in jail at that time, wasn't he? That's why me and Stefanos brought you on, I think, because we were doing 5 days a week at the time.
Yeah.
And I had my Facebook page from like 2008 or 2009, and that thing got taken down so hard, so bad. A week after I had you and many other doctors on for those 2 weeks,
Oh, I
it was like
remember.
I had never been on the freaking planet. That's how bad they banned me.
I yeah. I mean that's a demonstration of the power that they had over media and messaging. That they had a very tight rein on who could speak and those who tried to speak truth and oppose the narrative and come up with critical thinking, actual science, were the ones that were suppressed, like Dr. McCullough and Dr. Trozzi and Dr. Phillips and myself and so many others were ringing alarm bells loud, and the louder they rung them, the more they got discredited by mainstream media and even the regulators in medicine. As we all know, they're all the major institutions and corporations are in on it. Like they work in synchrony. Regulators to media to medical schools, doctors, TV doctors, politicians. It was all done in concert to send the same message over and over again and to suppress anything that opposed it.
So, Monica, honestly, if men are leaving, they're a bunch of pussies leaving the fight for us women. Do you find there's more women coming down to Mexico or more men?
I'd say more women are coming down, but I would um, I would challenge that. So there's some people say, okay, that oh, you're leaving Canada, you're a coward, you're a deserter, you've abandoned the movement. But I look at it like this, Ed. To be honest, like as a physician, look, if I look at a patient that comes in with a massive gunshot wound to the chest where the heart is no longer like recognizable, no matter what I do, that patient is not going to come back to life. That patient is a DNR. You cannot resuscitate that person. Do not resuscitate that person. And sadly, if you look clearly at what's happening in Canada, the purposeful destruction of our country, the massive immigration, the tax burden, the globalization, the atrocities that are purposefully committed, combined by the fact that more than 50% of the population, it's estimated, supports or enables the current government, and they see absolutely nothing wrong with it. And I think when you look at those factors, you have to come to the realization that yeah, we can keep fighting like the truckers movement and freedom rallies, but at some point you have to kind of start like facing that this could be that patient. This could be that patient that no longer has a pulse that we can't bring back. And I don't think I'm being pessimistic. I think it's just a realistic conclusion that 120,000 Canadians, came to and they left in a big exodus in 2025. And I don't really see those people that have left Canada as cowards or deserters. I think they just see reality and they see that there's a better life out there. And believe me, I've been here for a year and a half, and it is a beautiful life here. I mean, we had a nice, beautiful visit, nice steak dinner when you came and visited. I mean, you saw how joyful I was, how much I was enjoying life here, and year-round gorgeous weather, the ocean behind me. I'm having lunch right now, like late lunch. And that's the everyday life, And the government here, Ed, is not in your face. They literally, you don't even really see them. And when they tried biometrics with Mexicans rejected it in huge numbers, and the government had to back off. The government here is not pushing these bills like Bill C9, Bill C11, ramming them down people's throats at such a fast pace that, people, can't even fight them.
Well, there's checks and balances against the government here in Canada. Our checks and balances are supposed to be our Canadian Constitution.
Yeah.
And here's a perfect example: Pat King, double jeopardy. They've taken to court again, and he's done nothing wrong.
Yeah.
It's the tyrants that are in the government the government put this to us. The government brought us
Absolutely.
to where we are, 100%. And
Absolutely.
dumbasses, they're getting suckered.
And there's no there's Ed, you pointed out too, like there's no political savior, conservative or otherwise. Like there's no political savior there, and that's part of the problem we're dealing with is that we just don't really have proper representation that's truly representing the voice of the conservatives, people that are awake. Um, Sadly, some say we may never see a conservative government ever again in Canada. And even if we do, like the conservative government, like there's some potential issues there.
Well, I got involved with the People's Party quite early, and I was actually vice president of our riding association for the first election.
Yeah.
And I was so disappointed at how the guy that we had elected to represent us in our riding didn't want to get out there. He didn't want to put even his own money in.
It's sad. It's a sad state.
So we got misled there, and that's the problem. People get misled, and there's no consequences. Well, with the PPC, I think we would have had a chance, but then you find out there's other people who are saying, well, the PPC was set up to actually put a dent in the conservative movement and take those votes away from the conservatives to make sure that they wouldn't have another conservative government. Mark
It's
Friesen passed away, and I don't know if think all the work that Mark Friesen did for the PPC party
Yeah.
and the leaders down in Florida building himself a retirement home. So I know people got to make choices, but man, how could you not appreciate all the work that Mark Friesen did? I
Yeah,
hope
no,
people
for
never.
sure. No, I think there's a lot of people who have honored his work, and it's wonderful. And I think like at heart, like we're all freedom fighters. I'm a freedom fighter, and you know, eh, I'm not saying you give up completely on Canada, but I think we have to look at exactly what's happening, what the current environment is, the current government. Uh, Mark the Hitman Carney, as some call him, they're coming to finish off Canada. And really, when you look at his past history, like, um, every institution he's worked for, every bank he's worked for, Bank of England, Bank of Canada, it's been the same script. He basically comes, increases, makes money, makes it more difficult for the working person, and uh, like demolishes the economy. And that's appears to be what he's doing to Canada on purpose. I mean, when you look at 2.2 million Canadians at food banks and 900 million, another 900 million sent to Ukraine, like you got to look at that and say, like, he's not incompetent. I think this is purposeful design destruction of our country, and it's done in a way that has a tone of contempt to it, like the way he smiles, the way he does it, like with you know um, that smile and that confidence. Like he knows it's gonna irk people off, but he doesn't care.
Why
You
would he
know?
care? He's putting millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars in his bank account in a
Well,
blind
exactly.
trust. Blind trust, eh? Yeah, right. Every deal he's
Yeah.
done has been a win for what's the name of that company? Actually,
Uh, his company.
who's
Oh yeah. Oh geez, it escapes me too. Anyways, I know what you mean.
and now real estate's been crashing for the last 6 months.
I know.
It's getting worse. So people that should have sold their houses 2 years ago, they fixed them up and they're going up for sale. They're not getting the money they expected. There's a lot of people walking away from condos because they put down a deposit on a condo and say the purchase price is $1,000,000. Those
Yeah.
condos are now selling for $600,000.
Well, but not only that, Ed, I think people are going to start walking away from Canada if they can, like not just walking away from their condo and from their assets, but they're going to get to the point where they can't bear it anymore. Like their their hard work is not being rewarded; it's being punished. And there comes a point where people just lose interest, lose motivation, and they start looking elsewhere at a new life, at a better life. And that's what, as I say, 120,000 Canadians did in last year, and the number should be much higher even this year. And I'm constantly getting people, friends, like critical thinkers, freedom fighters, approaching me and saying, like, "How did you do it? Like, how can we do it?" And that's why we put together this online course called Escape Hatch, where we brought like the best immigration lawyers, real estate agents, tax experts. Like even Kevin Johnson was involved in our last course, and people are showing an interest in taking practical steps and walking away from Canada, saying it's just we cannot bring it back. Like it's sadly like lost its pulse, and I know it's a hard diagnosis to accept, but at some point, my humble opinion is that we should accept it because they would do the whole emergency act. They would do it all over again. Like, and in order to have any kind of a revolution that's meaningful, you need pretty significant consensus of the population. You need to have people willing to sacrifice their health and their life, like to basically, like they did in some European countries, where they literally walked right to the parliament and demanded the resignation of the government. But I don't know. Can you see Canadians ever doing that, Ed?
When you get 10 million people coming in from India and other countries like that get free stuff,
Yeah,
they came from a really bad country.
yeah,
For this, excuse me. So No, I'm not going to quit smoking, so don't even go there. Not yet. Um, you got 8, 9 million people came in from India and third world countries. They're
It's
here
true.
now in Canada. They're getting better medical service than they had before. The roads are better. As far
I
as they're
know.
in it, it's wonderful here
Well, that's the
compared
thing. That
to
you,
Mexico.
I mean, and that's what I think. That's what's really making it virtually impossible to fight the trend of Canada's destruction, because you have so many people supporting the government and thinking the government is amazing. Like, the Elbows Up group that think fighting in the states is the wisest thing that we can do, and it shows how tough we are. Those kinds of, like, there are a lot of supporters. Carney has a lot of supporters, and we have to face that reality. Like, we see the corruption, but a lot of people think he's amazing. So I think that's in large part what makes the situation so much more difficult, because you're not just fighting the government, you're fighting a lot of supporters of the government.
Yeah. Someone's calling us a coward. Okay, that's fine. I spent 30 grand to take the city of Pickering court. What have you done? And I know that's going to go to 50 grand before it's done. Uh, freedom of speech. So please don't call me a coward. I was almost out there every Saturday for four
I know.
years with my own PA equipment that I paid for personally. I rented it. I
Yeah.
rented it so long that it actually paid for itself.
Well, Ed, and I appreciate you, and a lot of, like, freedom fighters and speakers really appreciate all the hard work that you did. And a lot of times it was in the background where you didn't get, like, formal credit, but I want to just speak publicly and just say how much we appreciated your support. Like, a lot of it was in the background, but those rallies couldn't have happened without you. Even you came to the College of Physicians and Surgeons rally with your equipment on two separate occasions, I remember, and those were good rallies. Those are, we basically exposed the college for its corruption and its dictatorship against practicing doctors and the public. And I think I don't regret anything we did. I think we did the right thing. We fought really hard. Um, but at the end of the day, like, like a doctor fighting for his dying patient, there comes a point where you have to say, like, um, this was not coming back. Like, this patient is not coming back, and it's time to, look for a new life, look for a different life. And some people say, "Oh, Emad, you're so negative. You're so negative. Like, you're so pessimistic. You're giving up the fight." No, I think I just face reality. Just like in medicine, when I faced a dying patient that we couldn't bring back, you have to go on to the next patient. You can't do the impossible. So, but on the good news, I say there's hope. There's a lot of life out there. There's a lot of different beautiful locations with amazing year-round weather that I would encourage people to start to look at. And I say that with some respect to Canada, the way it was. Like, we immigrated here. We loved it when we came here. It was a land glorious and free. We had freedom. We had safety. But the Canada we see today is not even close to recognizable. It has turned into very similar to the country we left, Egypt. We left Egypt because of Islamic radical Islam suppression and bias, prejudice against Christians, and now it's kind of come full circle. Like, we're leaving Canada for the same reason, that it's become tyrannical and oppressive toward truth tellers, and the same reasons we left Egypt for are pretty much the reasons why I left Canada. But anyways, Ed, I need to wrap it up. This was totally spontaneous, and I can't resist your invitation to come on. But I was actually literally just having lunch when I just started scrolling and I saw you on there. I thought, oh, there's Ed.
It's a bit late for lunch, isn't it? What time is it there?
Well, it's kind of, actually, no, it's more supper now. It's actually
Yeah.
6:39. I guess I'm kind of subconsciously doing intermittent fasting because it's kind of my first meal today, and it's 20 to 7. So I don't know if you can see, this beautiful, beautiful sunset here um, through the umbrellas. This place
Uh,
called Cairns, right on the beach, so you can have your lunch and watch the ocean. It's just gorgeous. I went for a swim before coming in.
So, are you in Nuevo Vallarta, which is on the north
Just
side of Puerto
just north
Vallarta?
of
Or?
Nuevo. So it's in Bolsarias. So it's a small town north of Nuevo. It's only about 15-minute drive from Nuevo, and it's where a lot of Canadians end up. It's a really nice vibe here, like very low key. It's not heavy in terms of the tourism, and you feel like a real small town kind of feel to it. And the beach is gorgeous. Like it's just like a long, long beach, kind of like Wasaga Beach on steroids. Like it's like this ocean that just goes on and gorgeous waves. And Ed, looking forward to your next visit to Mexico.
I'll definitely be there this coming February for at least a couple weeks minimum,
Excellent.
because you know what's going on. I'm going to go to Acapulco again. I thoroughly enjoyed that last
Oh,
year.
beautiful. Yeah, no, it'd be great to see you again. And
Yeah.
yeah, we'll stay in touch. I'm staying in touch with Kevin now. We're involved in some joint ventures.
Okay, cool. So, where can people find information out about this course that you got?
So you can email me at escapehatchstat@gmail.com. So escape hatch is just straight through escape hatch stat because it's urgent at gmail.com. If you email me, I can send you all the information about the course, and including there's actually a website dedicated. There's a web page dedicated to the course itself. But just email me and I'll send you the information.
Jesse's from Wasaga. Well, Jesse, if you go to Wasaga Beach, you don't need to buy tomatoes because they're growing wild.
There you
And I
go.
don't want to tell you why there's wild tomatoes growing in Wasaga Beach, but there's a reason. And Wasaga Beach looks nothing like what you've seen. It's just littered with garbage. It's unbelievable. It's not the same town whatsoever.
Oh, it's really sad to see what's happened to Canada. Like all like the and I'm hearing the crime rate has gone up. I understand from statistics like it's gone up 50% in the last 3 years. Like violent crime. Um, it's just tragic. Um, yeah, but there's still hope out there. But it you may have to look outside Canada for that hope.
You know, funny thing, how old were you when you came to Canada?
I was 10.
You're 10 years old. So my dad was 24 when he came to Canada. He got jailed once crossing the border because that time former Yugoslavia was a communist country, socialist. They say it's socialist. It was communist, period.
Right.
And you weren't allowed to leave, just like Cubans aren't allowed to leave, but they are now.
Wow.
Hey, do you guys have any? What's the price of gas now in Mexico?
You know what? I'm just using my e-bike and e-scooter, so I don't have my pulse on what the gas prices are. But I have an American friend, and he says they're definitely lower than Canada and the States, but I don't know how much lower.
Okay, because when I was there in February, it was 1 peso 90. So with the conversion, it was about $1.50 a liter. We're paying $1.65 now on average, and
Wow,
diesel's up at $2 now.
it's crazy.
And we got the
Okay.
third largest oil reserves on the planet.
Uh,
Figure that one out.
well,
Where's
listen,
all
Ed. I sorry. Go ahead, please.
And you got to ask yourself, where's all this money going?
I mean, that's a mystery. Where's all the money going? I asked Kevin that. I know when he was on the Zoom conference. I said, "Where's all this money going?" Like 20. I said it was 25 billion to Ukraine. He said it was actually up to 40 billion from his research. And I said, "Where is it all going?" And he's got sources to believe that it's going through money laundering and going like internally among like investors and others. That it's not going to where it's purported to be going.
Yeah,
But
let's not. Nobody pay attention to what how much money Jack Biden's kid was making.
yeah, yeah.
You know, the guy's an
Well,
idiot. He's making millions of dollars. It's corrupt. It's so corrupt.
so
And at
corrupt.
least in Mexico, you've got the cartels that keep the government in check.
Well, that's the irony. Like the cartel kind of keeps the government in check, and apparently they work in sync. And The cartel has absolutely no interest in any expat, Canadian or American, being injured. In fact, they depend on them for their businesses. They're in hospitality and in other industries that depend on expats. And so even when they were burning cars down, they took great care to make sure nobody actually got hurt. They protected the people. And I have a few incidents where, they left families alone that had kids and so on. And I have a friend that actually had her car burned down. She got pulled over, and they just said, "Get out of the car." And, well, we're gonna block the road and burn your car down. And she's like, "Okay." She's not gonna fight him. But the stats, Ed. You know how some friends like say, "Oh, I'll never go to Mexico because of the cartel." I actually looked at Statistics Canada's own numbers, and the murder rate for Canadian in Canada is 1.9 for every 100,000. In Mexico, it's zero point 0.2 for every 100,000 Canadians. So if you're Canadian, you're 10 times more likely to be murdered in Canada than you are in Mexico. That's the reality. So when the media twists it and friends cling on to that, I said, like, you're not doing your research. Like, you're just listening like a parrot to what the media is telling you. It's actually safer here for Canadians now than it is in Canada.
Hang on. You made a mistake error there. Not what the media is telling you. It's the media is lying to you. There's a difference. Huge distinction.
They're 100%. They're selling fear because the fear sells, right? So they sell this fear that the cartel is somehow all over the streets, murdering people. Like, it's so far from reality. I honestly feel safer here. I've been here for a year and a half. I feel safer here than I did in Barrie. In Barrie, they had like knife point attacks, people going to ATM machines, getting robbed by homeless people or randoms. You don't see that here in Mexico. Like, and I counted, Ed, in my lifetime in Canada as a surgeon and also with friends. I witnessed 22 murders. Like, I've seen 22 Canadians killed in my career, and just 7 of them were personal friends that were murdered. I haven't heard of one Canadian murdered here like in a year and a half. Not one. So I think it tells you something.
Yeah, so the murders that are usually happening, it's usually like in Canada, it's usually over drug money or drugs,
Exactly. And when
organized
people
crime.
and it's Mexicans that are involved in that world, right? Like, that's they tick off, they irritate the cartel, and they go in harm's way. And the problem is, Ed, is that people will quote, like, it's complete misleading. They'll quote Mexican murder rates in Mexico compared to Canadian murder rates in Mexico. In other words, a Canadian murdered in Canada versus a Mexican murdered in Mexico. That's not a fair comparison. That's a totally misleading, warped statistic, because they're not actually comparing true Canadian in Canada versus a Canadian living and minding their own business in Mexico. When you do that comparison, Canadian is much safer, 10 times safer in Canada, sorry, in Mexico than they are in Canada. It's the
Yeah,
opposite of what you would think.
yeah. So all weed in Mexico is cartel weed. It's grown by the
Apparently, I mean,
cartels. It's
I
packaged
don't,
by the. I know this for a fact because I know some people that smoke weed.
yeah,
And the only weed you can get, and the only weed you should buy, is from the cartels because they control that market. It's not ridiculously priced. It's probably safer to consume than the Canadian weed because the Canadian weed that's government licensed, they're spraying it, they're irradiating it, they're putting all kinds of
right
chemicals in and
there.
shit in it, and it's damn expensive. Like, it's
There you
really
go.
expensive.
Well, I mean, the cartel. I mean, the reality is they walk among us. Everybody knows that. Like, Mexicans know that. Like, the cartel, like, they're involved in hospitality. They're involved even in pharmacia, like in pharmacies. Apparently, they launder money through all these small pharmacies all over the place. Like, every half a block, you see a pharmacy. Apparently, the cartel is involved in them. But they're you don't get in their way. You don't agitate them. You don't threaten them. You're fine. Like, you just if you're not in that world, you're gonna be totally safe. Oh,
So here's a minus about Pharmacia in Puerto Vallarta, and I witnessed this myself. I tried to buy some painkillers when I was down there, and the prices were out of this world.
yeah, they are. They're yeah. They're. I agree. The prices are outrageous. Just for pharmaceuticals. Like if you go like food, if you're gonna go like to a Mexican shop for like food, way less than Canada. Um, but
I,
anyway,
I'd say it's about the price of food is half. But for
yeah,
narcotics from the pharmacies, sure, you don't need a prescription, but
yeah,
who the hell can
you're
afford
gonna
to pay those
you're
prices? The prices are
any
just
yeah,
insane.
I agree. So, anyways, Ed, I should wrap it up. I got my well, it's supper. I call it. I guess it's not really lunch, but I wanted to say hello and to appear. I feel honored that you invited me in, and I appreciate that.
Oh, you're welcome. It's always good to hear from you. And
You
again,
too.
where can people find that course again?
So email me at escapehatchstat@gmail.com. I'll put my I also have a page on my it's a Doc Talk with Dr. E webpage, and if they actually press escape hatch on that front page, they'll get all the course details. The next course is October 16th and 17th. We just finished one this past weekend. I'll put it in the comments, okay, Ed? So if anybody's interested, they can go straight to that page.
Yeah, pop it in the comments. Some people might be
Okay,
interested in it. Is there a
I'll do that.
cost to this course?
Yeah, so there's right now we're running an early bird cost of $397, and it ends at the end of the month, so just less than 2 weeks. And the thing about that is that's a really good investment, and we have reviews. If you go onto my Facebook page, there's some raving reviews, people that have already experienced the course, and they found it extremely helpful. And that price is pales compared to like paying a relocation consultant. You could be paying upwards of five to $15,000 for a consultant. So that we just thought we'd put everything together in one 2-day course and really encourage people to start the foundation of that relocation. So I'll put that comment in right now, kid.
Sure. Thanks for coming on, Dr. G.
No problem. My pleasure. You take care, eh?
Yep. Later. See you in
Bye now.
February.
All
Talk
right.
soon.
Look forward to it.
Ciao.
Bye now.
Bye. All right. Well, there you have it. What else is in the chat? Anything I got to address here? We are not going to hear from Stefanos, but I will. Oh, there it is. Let me put this link in for you guys for those people that are interested. Copy clean link. And I will put this on the bottom of the screen. Make us a new banner here. So usually I do this while other people are talking, so you don't even know what's happening. Paste. Add banner. Let's show that. There you go. With DrE.com. So Doc Talk with DrE.com. You can take a look, go there if you guys are interested in possibly moving to Mexico. You know, it's hard to leave this country. I was born here. I love this country, but the way it's gone, and the fact that there's so many people that are they're brainwashed basically, and they voted in this liberal government. And then you got the corruption that we've heard about with the elections and the Dominion voting machines and the software. We witnessed this when Kevin was running for politics in Mississauga. There's no way he got 13.4% of the vote every time the votes were tabulated. It's impossible. Statistically, it's impossible. So they know the elections are rigged. Like, and yet, yes, for volunteers, for people to monitor the elections, nobody comes out. Yes, Stefanos. Hopefully, we'll be talking to a doctor sometime in the next 24 hours. I think it's going to take him that long. Oh, yeah. Bill Gates is pushing a digital ID, cashless society. What a great way to lock you down. They're going to control your money. They're going to put an expiration date on it. They're going to tell you what you can and can't buy with it. This is coming, people. It's coming. It's It's called the New World Order. You know what? I was hearing about the New World Order back in the 90s, believe it or not, but there was no context. The internet was still in its infancy. Um, the internet's been a blessing and it's been a scourge. It's been a blessing for us because we see what's going on. Because if it wasn't for the internet, just think we wouldn't be having these conversations. People wouldn't be talking about on social media. You wouldn't have um, like it's just gotten so easy. But now you've got to be careful because AI tends to paint things the way they want, so they control the narrative through AI. Um, Also, when you do a search, you go on Google, they're going to put you in the direction of the narrative that they want to push you to. So we are being manipulated constantly. And I feel sorry for people that have a TV or even turn their TV on and listen to mainstream media because they're getting bombarded with all this shit and they've bought it all hook, line, and sinker. If some politician was to say, you know what, dog shit is really good and healthy, you get social influencers saying, oh, this dog shit is the best dog shit I've ever tasted. It's awesome. You got to try it. I'm never eating anything but dog shit because that's the thing about the influence of the media and the lies that they're putting in and the black mirror that we always look into. And in the schools, I noticed that they weren't teaching critical thinking anymore. And I remember back in the 90s saying, hey, you can't say that. It's not politically correct. Well, my answer was, I'm not in politics. Why the fuck should I care what they think about what I'm saying? This is my opinion. And as far as I know, it's the truth. Now, if you want to prove me wrong, this is back in the early 90s. I've seen this changing. And then I heard, oh, you can't fail a kid for going to school. No one's allowed to fail. This ain't good. Where's the push to do better in school? And if you look at the way European societies were built, and Canada, we had the fastest fighter jet built, the Avro Arrow. We were years ahead of everyone in the rest of the world as far as fighter technology goes because we did have excellent schools. We had British engineers, we had German engineers, and these were the guys who were teaching the courses in the schools. And they knew back then if we're going to succeed and raise our standard of living, we need to be the best at what we're at. But nowadays, and this is important, nowadays, if you're the best, they actually look down on that. You go and compete in schools, you get a participation ribbon. You don't want to hurt their feelings. You know what, guys, in competition, some people win, some people lose. It's just a way of life. But now they've evened the playing field because they don't want to hurt someone's feelings. Well, education is not even 20% of what it was. I hear of someone saying, "Oh, they're an honor student." Big deal. I can go to school half the time and be an honor student. Um, and I was a solid D student when I was in high school. Mind you, I took all advanced courses and shit, but quite frankly, I just didn't want to apply myself because I was too busy thinking about cars and engines and hot rods and drinking and partying and chasing skirts and all the stuff a young man does think about. But let's face it, I really wasn't. It was an academic school, and I always got straight A's in shop class, but academics, it really wasn't for me. It's kind of like boring. I didn't realize how important it was. But look at academics. Critical thinking has gone away. Look at companies like General Motors and the way our system is set up. Every stock or most stocks, they're always thinking about, okay, we got to make sure we deliver profits and on the books for this quarter, this quarter, this quarter, every 3 months. The CEOs are bean counters or oh, chartered accountants or business grads. Okay, you're a business grad. What have you actually done for your life except study and bought into all this bullshit that they teach in the schools? Because it is BS. Perfect example today. I was looking to buy some 316 stainless steel for my pig roasting machine. I'm going to make some more points to hold the pig on, are the shafts for the upcoming pig roast next week. I went to called Metal Supermarket, got stock. No, we don't have enough. All I wanted was 30 pieces of 1/4 inch 316, which is food grade, which is better quality food grade stainless steel. It's salt resistant, doesn't rust when it's exposed to rust. And if you're going to be roasting pigs, you're going to be salting those pigs. So that stainless is going to get some salt on it, and it corrodes it. So I went for the 316 stainless, which is it's a little bit more expensive alloy. It is a low carbon steel, stainless, but nonetheless, it resists salt erosion. Yeah, I could have gone for a 410 or 420, but it's a magnetic. Who wants that, right? And it costs more, but it's very 410 and 420 stainless steel. Acids will not break down the stainless, and it's harder to machine, harder to weld. So 316 did the trick. Anyways, the first Metal Supermarkets, I called it at around noon. They had some, they didn't have enough to make, 30 14-inch pins about that long. Then I asked them, is there any other dealers that may have them? And they said, yeah, down in Don Mills. So, okay, great. I went down there and they had stock. And these guys had actually quite a large stock. And I'm saying, how come Scarborough location only had, 6 feet of it? He said, oh, we get that all the time. They're always sending us customers. That's why we're so busy here. I says, you're kidding me, right? He says, but your shop is tiny. He says, yeah, but we got more stock than they do. He says, yeah, you do actually. And they got plenty of stock. And that's why they get the business. Now, to keep all that stock on the floor costs money because you got to pay for that material. Sometimes it doesn't sell for 6 months. So the bean counter is saying, well, let's reduce the stock as much as we can and keep that money in the bank so we can get interest on it or spend that money elsewhere. Well, guess what, guys? The Scarborough store didn't get the $160. The one in Don Mills did. If you don't have it and somebody wants it right away, you can't sell it. The washers that got weld on these little things, these little pins, was calling around. Bolts Plus, I think it's Whitecoat, used to be called Rafasco, it's another company. 316 stainless steel washers. You got any 1/2-inch stainless steel washers? Nothing special or anything around that size of 316 stainless. No, but head office does. We can have it for you tomorrow. Says, no, I want it now. I'll come pick it up. Sorry, 1 day turnaround, but we've got them in stock. Says, well, I'm thinking to myself, this is stupid. And then I remember checking the Rona website, and they said they had some in stock. And sure enough, I went there and I bought all the washers I needed from those guys. They had the stock. That's why I went there to buy it, and they got my money. So the bean counters, no. We're gonna sit on it for 6 months. What's the point? Rather put that money somewhere else. Well, are you in business to serve the customer, or are you in business to serve yourselves? And this is very important. I want you guys to pay attention now. 10 happy customers may bring you one more, but one pissed off customer will probably take 10 away. And I was told this as a young man, and that's why I've always said, if you're going to do something, do it right, do a good job, don't rip people off, respect them, respect the job you're doing for them. And that's why I don't even have business cards. I haven't had business cards in 20 years. It's always personal recommendations. And I ask people, where'd you get my name from? If it wasn't someone that was referred them, I don't even want to work for them because they don't appreciate what I'm going to do for them. And they think, oh, this guy's too expensive. Well, not really. I'm quite reasonable for what I do for people. Very reasonable. And if I use better materials, well, it costs a little bit more. If I take the time to do it right, it costs a little bit more time. In the end, are you going to get a job that's going to last a week or 100 years? That's what you're paying for. And I had a conversation with another guy today. This morning, I got quite upset with him. He's talking about a certain culture. And I says, I will never hire these people because I know what they're all about. He says, yeah, but they're cheaper and they're dictating the prices and they're getting the work. I says, yeah, really? Only until people learn what they're all about. And this certain culture, they don't care. They really don't care about their reputation because they're selling the services and product on the cheapest price. So someone's going to buy, say, a roof. Oh, I got quoted 6 grand by this guy, and this other guy quoted me 10 grand. Well, what are you getting for that 6 grand? Are you getting shingles that are actually mass produced in China and they're fake? Yes, people, fake shingles coming in from China. Believe it, it's happening. And those shingles last 2 or 3 years. The guy's long gone by then. And you just spent 6 grand and you got to do the roof again in 2 or 3 years because they were fake shingles instead of paying a 10 grand to get proper shingles installed by a proper guy with the proper underlayment, with the proper nailing pattern. My roof was done by Vietnamese guys, and I used the designer heavyweight designer 2-ply shingle, and it was done in 2007. It's now 2026, 19 years. Shingles don't last 19 years, guys, but I spent the extra 25% to get this heavy 2-ply American shingle put on my house, and it still looks awesome. Granule loss minimal. Um, will I get the same quality nowadays when I redo it? Probably not. Will I put on a metal roof? Absolutely. Yeah, make money by any means mentality. If it's a demographic I think you're talking about, yep, you got it. But what's cheaper to do the job? Like even my dad, when they had their business, they would send back steel if they thought it was substandard because we paid market price for a market metal. And if there's something wrong with it, I'm not going to put that in the customer's car. Go sell it to somebody else. Reputation meant a lot back in those days. Yeah, they charged a couple bucks more than the competition, but you got a lot more than the other guy. And that's why they were always busy. Mind you, they had slow times in the winter, seasonal adjustments, or the last 2 weeks of August were usually slow because the C&E was open. But the whole industry was like that. When they couldn't get proper steel in the late 70s, and they had all the big accounts, power tank lines back at the time. They had Becker Milk Company, Max Milk. All the heavy haulers came to them from across the city. Why? Because they knew how to reinforce the axles so that they wouldn't truckers wouldn't get busted axles when they're taking these heavy loads across the highway. They went to the trouble of using chromoly 4140 chromoly steel for the U-bolts, unheard of in the industry. What was standard for the industry? Well, the industry had slowly gone from good quality steel, but to meet the price, to cheaper leaded steel with rolled threads, which is even cheaper to produce. Now, rolled thread in a soft material actually is stronger than a cut thread in a soft material. But if you got a half hard 4140 chromoly steel, you can't roll threads in that, and the threads are cut. And at the end of the day, that same U-bolt, it'll take twice to 2 to 3 times more shock, more abuse to break that U-bolt. And the U-bolt, okay, $6 part, ours cost $7. The cheaper U-bolt, okay, so you save $10 on a $1,000 job, big deal. But sometimes bean counter thinks, "Oh, I'm saving money." No, you're not, because the U-bolt you come to get from us would be $2 more, but it could be reused. Whereas the other ones, they'd rust out faster because it was cheaper quality steel. You torched them off. So instead of a U-bolt lasting 2 suspension jobs, or 3 possibly, so we're talking $2 now. You paid up front, a little bit more for better quality. You had to buy that U-bolt 2 times after that because it could not be reused. So false economy. Anyways, there's my little bit of economics. I'm a firm believer of, spending money and getting something better, something that'll last. My 2005 Dodge Ram's got a Cummins diesel in it, 550,000 K on it. Uh, Still running great, guys. It's going to be a 20-year-old truck soon. No, it's already a 20-year-old truck. It's a 21-year-old truck. I still drive it. The only mistake I made is I didn't undercoat it enough. So yeah, she's a rust bucket, but mechanically runs great. I don't know what else to tell you guys. Sorry, Stefanos didn't show up. Next week we'll be talking about a lot of shit that's going on. Mark Carney's ripping off the country big time. I'm sure you guys have heard about this, but it's not getting nowhere near the publicity it deserves. So 2 weeks before the federal government did a deal to help out these developers in Vancouver, Brookfield did a deal with some of these developers, and the money laundering, the misdirection. Oh, we're helping people. Yeah, well, the immigrants that are coming in the country have much higher standard of living than we do. Think about that. Alrighty. Yep. Crony capitalism, exactly. Cronyism. Conducted, I've come across for some reasons is Lebanese. You know what? I don't think we can narrow it down to any one demographic. There's rotten apples in every culture. Some cultures is more of it. There's certain countries where the people that we've come in, we led into the country, they came from the third caste, and that caste to survive had to steal, chill, beg, borrow, do whatever they can. That's all they know. And these people come to the countries, well, don't think they're going to change their ways that quickly. So they do the same thing here. So is it culture? Yeah. Is it doing whatever it takes to survive? Yeah. Per capita, do we have the highest amount of resources of any country in the world? Saudi Arabia doesn't pay income tax, and they pray 5 times a day there. Think about that. Huh. Yeah, they don't want us learning about civics now, do they? Well, that's why I bring Stefanos on, because he's been in politics. He was trained by some pretty good people. Knows a lot more about it than I do. But I'm better looking than he is, so you got to have some kind of draw for the viewers. Anyways, Pat King tomorrow morning, guys, 10:30 a.m. Sorry, he told me 10:50 and 10:30. He'll be all over social media. He'll be reading out that judgment. Could he get 5 years? Yeah, that's what they're asking for. Will he? I really hope they don't take him down. I can't see it being done because I was thinking about that. Why would they announce the judgment? If you're going to arrest the guy, wouldn't you want him in court? Again, November. This is the big one, guys. Tell all your friends, tell all your hunter buddies. This is the big one. The date, again, just to make sure I don't make a mistake. It's in front of the Supreme Court building, which is just down the street a little bit from Parliament Hill. I think it's the second or third building over. Might be the first, but it's right beside Parliament Hill. The date is November 9th and 10th, and I got this information directly from one of the key lawyers that's involved in this appeal. So if Gary Anaganari or whatever it is gets his way, we're losing our guns. If the court holds up our constitutional rights, we get to keep our guns. Mao took the guns. Hitler took the guns. Who else took the guns? Oh, the slaughter there in the middle. Pol Pot took the guns. All dictatorships, they take the guns. It's one of the key things. If you don't have people that can arm themselves, well, then the government can do whatever they want to you. Yeah, we lost our gun rights. Nobody appealed it in 1978 when they took it out of our constitution to bear arms. But we used to have that right in 78. I remember being a kid, and some of my older friends used to have on the back of a pickup, used to have a shotgun and a rifle hanging in their pickup. Going to school, no big deal. It was normal back then. You can walk to the street, you can walk to the park. If you want to plink, no big deal. No one thought anything of it. Gun license was paying $10. It was just a cash grab for the government. There wasn't even safety courses in the 60s, believe it or not. Castle law. Yeah, who's going to do that? I wish. Ain't going to happen. At least not in this current climate because, oh, the poor criminal, he wouldn't break into your house if he wasn't hungry or had a drug problem. You can't shoot him just because he's going to shoot your family. No, 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 no. I was also talking to another person today, and we've been talking about child predators and child abuse and sexual predators and sexual abuse. And this floored me. The guy's got 2 young daughters, a wife, a good, successful business. And from the age of from 7 to 9, he was sexually abused by the guy that plays the church organ. This is going back 40 years now. The guy has since committed suicide because word got out that he was a pedophile. And the actual predator, pedophile, was married with children. And he committed suicide last year. And this guy told me something very interesting. He says, you know what's the best thing about being Christian? I get to forgive the person that did this to me. And I thought, well, that's not right. Says, well, how is it not right? I'm not going to suffer. I forgive, and I've forgotten about it. Sure, something was done wrong to me, but what are you going to do now? What's done is done. And he says, I'm going to live my day to the best that I can every day. I wake up, I smile, I thank God I'm still alive. And he's 4 years younger than me, so maybe I should be getting worried. But no, he's got the real positive attitude. He hasn't taken that victim mentality because he was able to forgive against the people that caused the harm to him. And I said, but why didn't you speak up? He's there. What's the analogy? He said, when you're trapped in a box and you see no way out, you're just a little kid. Are they going to believe you? It's your word against them. They're older. So it's kind of sad story, but he didn't take the victim mentality. He's done very well with himself in business. He's taking good care of himself. His family's doing well. He's living life well. And here's a little video we're going to play for you guys. I know sometimes we spread bad news, but you know what? If you want to fight, let's get together. Let's fight these bastards. Where's this little video somebody sent me? Let's see if I can find it. I'm going to play it off my phone. If I can find it. Where is it? Oh, yeah. Here it is. It's only 16 seconds long.
Just remember, if the hair in your butthole can grow and thrive in a shitty situation, so can you.
Anyways, that's how I'm going to end tonight's show, guys. For those who are hoping to get Stefanos on, he has a small medical issue. I'm sure he'll be back next Thursday. Pat King tomorrow morning. Let's see what happens with Pat. All right, everybody else. Anything else in the chat here? Really? Yeah. Won't be enough of us, I don't think. Listen, the natives will do whatever they have to do if there's money involved. They're getting so much money, and yet the average native doesn't get any of that money. But the Chiefs are doing very well. Yeah, Stefanos will be fine. I don't think he's been in the hospital in over 4 or 5 years. Last time he went was I think his appendix issue or something like that. Anyways, I hope everyone's garden is doing well. My first zucchini. So as soon as I end this show, guess what I'm gonna have on the barbecue tonight? A little bit early for zucchini, isn't it? Middle of July. But man, that heat wave, they really took off. I don't know how much smoke is in your area, but this afternoon, I actually saw blue skies. Yay! So those Antifa fires, I don't know what's happened to them, but the wind direction must have changed. Yeah, we'll put that on for Stefanos. I'm sure he'll feel better, Brenda. Thanks for your concern. Anyways, guys, later.